Okay, let's dive right into this explainer because there is a massive, hidden threat quietly dismantling the retirement plans of millions of Americans right now. We constantly hear about artificial intelligence generating images or writing code, right? But there is a silent crisis brewing just beneath the surface that mainstream financial channels are basically ignoring. We aren't just talking about a shift in your daily productivity. We are talking about a fundamental structural disruption to the way you save for the last 20 years of your life.
You know, when Elon Musk dropped this stark warning for 2025, a lot of people just laughed it off as another provocative soundbite. But if we actually peel back the layers and look at the trajectory of automation, the harsh reality is that the underlying math proves he might actually be right. The traditional American dream of working steadily for 40 years and letting your interest compound without interruption, it's completely under siege.
To really grasp the scale of this crisis, we have to look at the baseline vulnerability. According to the Federal Reserve's latest data, $81,000. That's it. That shockingly low number is the median retirement savings for Americans aged 44 to 49. Let that sink in for a second. The average 45-year-old sitting just 20 years away from standard retirement only has 81 grand saved up.
Now compare that $81,000 reality against what financial experts actually recommend. You quickly realize the median 45-year-old is already drastically behind. Experts suggest you should have roughly 4 times your annual salary saved by age 45. The fact that the median saver is absolutely nowhere near that target makes them incredibly vulnerable to economic shocks. They literally have no buffer. And unfortunately, the biggest economic shock in a generation is already here.
And this is where the math gets genuinely scary. A Goldman Sachs report states that 47 million is the staggering number of jobs at risk of AI automation in the United States alone. Globally, that number swells to an incredible 300 million. We're looking at a fundamental rewiring of the labor market that frankly doesn't care about your tenure or how close you are to your retirement target.
And this perfectly illustrates that we're not just talking about robots on a physical assembly line anymore. AI is coming straight for the comfortable, white-collar professions people mistakenly assumed were entirely secure. These are the exact jobs that historically provided the steady, reliable income you need to fund a robust 401k. We're talking about the cognitive labor force. Accountants, paralegals, financial analysts, people who sit at desks, process information, and manage teams.
So what does this actually look like in practice? It builds a terrifying reality for a mid-career professional. Everyone talks about AI taking jobs, but they completely miss the concept of stolen time. An AI layoff at age 48 doesn't just mean a 6 to 9 month job search. It introduces a massive gap that permanently cripples your compounding interest. You aren't just losing your current wages, you are losing a critical window of high-earning contribution years right when your portfolio should be accelerating the fastest.
Let's put some real numbers to this and look at a typical saver. We'll call her Sarah. Without any disruption, Sarah works steadily and hits about $430,000 by age 65. But watch what happens if she gets hit by an AI displacement at age 48. She spends 8 months jobless with 0 contributions and then takes a 23% pay cut upon returning to the workforce. She's still saving the exact same percentage of her income but on a much smaller base salary.
That single mid-career AI disruption results in a staggering $150,000 deficit by retirement. That is the true cost of an AI layoff. It's a devastating blow, and it's backed by Bureau of Labor Statistics data showing that 95% of displaced workers over 50 literally never recover their previous income levels. This isn't just a tiny bump in the road. It's a permanent derailment of your future standard of living.
But here is what's even scarier, honestly. This completely challenges all of our core assumptions. The very sectors most Americans believe are completely AI-proof, the prestigious, highly educated fields, are actually some of the most vulnerable to this specific type of technological disruption.
Think healthcare is safe? Well, doctors might be, but the administrative backend, billing, coding, prior authorizations is already seeing a third of its tasks automated. Legal sector? AI can review contracts and spot risks faster and cheaper than a first-year associate, and major firms like Allen & Overy are already automating that junior legal work. And in banking, JP Morgan is actively using AI to process 12,000 commercial loan agreements in seconds. Seconds! That used to take 360,000 hours of human labor. The cognitive foundation of these industries is being completely overhauled.
And the ultimate irony here? Even the technology sector isn't safe. The very software developers building the AI are at risk. With tools like GitHub Copilot now automatically writing nearly half of all code, the efficiency gains are just off the charts. In 2024, major tech titans like Google and Dropbox laid off hundreds of engineers, specifically and openly citing AI productivity gains as the reason. The machine is literally learning to build the machine.
So the uncomfortable truth we absolutely must face today is simple. If your daily work involves processing information, making pattern-based decisions, or creating standardized content, you need to stop reacting and start preparing right now. Just hoping for the best is no longer a viable retirement strategy. Okay, take a breath, because this isn't about panicking, it's about pivoting. To empower you against this threat, financial advisors who actually understand the reality of the AI economy are urgently recommending 3 specific, actionable moves to protect your future. Let's walk through how to build a fortress around your compounding interest. Move number 1. You must build an AI-proof income stream, and you have to do it before you actually need it. Develop a side income or a skill that requires deep human judgment or high-trust consulting. Why? Because the people who survive disruption don't wait until they get handed a pink slip to figure out their next move. Generating even $1,500 a month independently turns a devastating AI layoff into a mere speed bump instead of a complete financial catastrophe. Move number 2, aggressively max out those tax-advantaged accounts right now. Knowing there is no magical later where things will magically be easier, you need to accelerate your savings before the disruption hits. Aim for that $23,500 limit for your 401k. If you can't hit the max, you absolutely must capture every single dollar of your employer's match right now. In the AI economy, those future high-earning years you were banking on, they are no longer guaranteed.
And finally, move 3. You have got to diversify your skills exactly like you diversify a stock portfolio. You must completely avoid having a one-sentence value proposition, because honestly, if your entire job description can be summed up in one simple sentence, an algorithm can probably do it. Blend your technical abilities with irreplaceable human skills like emotional intelligence, complex team leadership, and nuanced communication. Learn to use the AI tools in your field, for sure, because the workers who refuse to adapt are going to be the first ones out the door.
What we are witnessing here is the greatest workforce transition since the Industrial Revolution, and it is moving 10 times faster than the shift from physical farms to mechanized factories back in the 1800s. Back then, machines replaced muscle. Today, machines are replacing the mind. Survival in this new era requires treating your career adaptability as your absolute most crucial investment.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really think about the security of your compounding interest, the terrifying reality of stolen time, and your future standard of living. Ask yourself this one final, absolutely critical question. The AI age is here, and it's playing for keeps with your financial future. Will you be the architect of your own adaptation or a casualty of the algorithm?